This question sounds absurd, completely ridiculous even, but you're here, so let's take it seriously. How many balloons would it take to lift an entire city? Now, before we can answer that, we need to decide, what is a city? Are we talking about a small town with one pizza shop and three angry mayors? Or are we talking about something like New York City, home to millions of people, rats, and the constant sound of honking? Let's pick something in the middle. Say, a medium-sized city like Cincinnati, Ohio. Why Cincinnati? No reason. Cincinnati weighs about 1 trillion kilograms. That's including buildings, streets, bridges, sewer systems, the people, their pets, and definitely some guy who still has a Blockbuster card. Now, back to balloons. A regular party balloon, the kind you'd find at a 5-year-old's birthday party, can lift around 14 grams if it's filled with helium. 14 grams. That's roughly the weight of 2 grapes. To lift a kilogram, about the weight of a liter of water, you'd need around 71 balloons. To lift a person, about 5,000. To lift Cincinnati, you're going to need a lot of grapes, or rather, a lot of balloons. Let's do the math. If one balloon lifts 0.014 kilograms, and we need to lift 1 trillion kilograms, that's about 71 trillion balloons. Yes, 71 trillion. That's a number so big, if you printed it on paper, you'd run out of forests. But okay, we're not done yet. Let's ask a more dangerous question. Where do you even put 71 trillion balloons? If each balloon is about 30 centimeters in diameter, then each one takes up about 0.014 cubic meters of space. Multiply that by 71 trillion, and you get almost 1 quadrillion liters of helium. That's more helium than exists on Earth. In fact, helium is so rare that we literally mine it from the ground like a precious gas diamond. So this entire plan would collapse before it begins. Not because of physics, but because of the helium budget. Also, if we somehow did manage to gather that much helium, we'd probably cause a global voice pitch crisis. Every conversation would sound like a chipmunk choir. But let's assume we solved the helium problem, probably by upsetting the laws of nature or building a helium Death Star. Would the city float evenly? Number? Absolutely not. Cities aren't solid cubes. They're a mess. They're made of buildings with different shapes, uneven terrain, people moving around, wind blowing from all directions, and somebody always yelling, "Whose dog is this?" The balloon lift wouldn't be distributed evenly, so the city would probably tilt, break apart, or turn into a very sad version of the movie, Up. Also, the sewers. Don't forget the sewers. If the city starts flying, what happens to the plumbing? And now the most awkward part. What happens after the city lifts off? Even if, somehow, we manage to gently raise it into the sky like a majestic flying turtle, the city is not a spaceship. It's not pressurized, it's not aerodynamic, it's not designed to survive being thousands of meters above sea level. Oxygen would thin out, temperatures would drop, birds would be very confused, and eventually gravity would say, "I've had enough of this nonsense." The city would fall. It wouldn't glide or land softly. It would crash back down in a way that ends most of civilization and probably dents the Earth. And the balloons? Most of them would pop long before that. Helium leaks, balloons deflate. One by one, they'd shrivel and drop. It would rain dead balloons for days. Children would cry, birds would sue. So, how many balloons would it take to lift a city? Technically around 71 trillion, practically zero, because you shouldn't. Not just because it's impossible, but because cities belong on the ground, where pizza is accessible, plumbing still works, and the only thing that should be floating is the occasional lost birthday balloon, unless, of course, you're planning to build the world's first flying city, in which case, call me. I have some questions.